Hello Fit 50 Challengers. This is just an informational video. We've had some questions as far as what counts as a cup for the non-starchy vegetable bonus. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Fit 50 Challenge rules or are just learning about them, for every day that you get 7 cups of non-starchy vegetables, you can get an extra bonus point. So this can add up to 50 bonus points a day pretty easily. But we don't want there to be any gray area as to what exactly counts as a cup. So I've found a variety of sizes and shapes for the vegetables that people may or may not be eating. And we're going to talk about what counts as a cup so that everyone is on the same page. So for those of you who bake often, you'll know that this type of cup without a spout is for dry ingredients, and this type of cup with a spout is typically for wet ingredients. But for the challenge, we're not baking, so it's not an exact science. So use whatever measuring cup around you have. Just make sure that it does count for a cup. So this is a 1 cup measuring cup. This one is 2, but it has marked clearly what the cup equals. Okay? So, like I said before, you don't need to be specifically just dry cup or liquid. It can be whatever as long as it lets you know what a cup is. Okay, so some of the things that I was thinking of, I have some baby carrots here. Baby carrots, so anything long and skinny. So this could be celery sticks that you may need to cut down. This could be green beans if you buy the longer green beans. So anything that's going to be long and skinny, you want to kind of equate this way. Or you want to make them about the size of a baby carrot. And then you're just going to try and fill them in your cup. Okay? You don't have to be super fancy about it. But you do want them to lay flat. So if you start making little pyramids with your baby carrots, you may be able to get 1 or 2 in there and not have to worry about it. So if a few of them are sticking up over the edge, you're pretty good. Okay? So that's about a cup of baby carrots. Alright? So if you have anything long and skinny, make it the size of a baby carrot, and that's going to be about a cup. Alright, so any kind of squashes, like this acorn squash or butternut squash, spaghetti squash is a little different because that ends up looking like spaghetti. So in that case, for a spaghetti squash, since I don't have one of those, scoop out the spaghetti, put it in there. Okay? But anything that's going to require cutting, you want to get, you know, like domino-sized cubes, maybe a little more. I went with the pre-chopped because cutting up a spaghetti squash is not, or cutting up any kind of squash is pretty time-consuming. So to save time, and these are already pretty laid out. So when you put them in there, just kind of move them around and try to fill up any blank spaces. Okay? So we're going to need some more here. Okay. Oop, too much, too much. So anything that's going to be cubed, about that would be a cup's worth of that. Okay. So we have a lot of small circular vegetables. So I have some Brussels sprouts here, but other things that you may find this size would be broccoli that's already cut, or cauliflower that's already cut into small portions like this. You can see some of these bigger cherry tomatoes would be about this size. You know, there's a lot smaller cherry tomatoes typically, so you wouldn't have to cut a smaller cherry tomato, but obviously something bigger about the size of a Brussels sprout. You just want to cut those in half. Okay? How are we doing on time, dude?
4.5 minutes.
Okay. So if you don't have a good knife for this challenge, that's a small one, so we'll be okay. If you don't have a good cutting knife, you may want to invest in one. It'll save you a lot of time. Okay. close enough. So again, you don't have to fill every space, but you want to fill more space than not. So that's going to be a cup of your round-ish vegetables. Okay, something like a whole tomato. For most people, the size of their fist equals about a cup's worth. So if you're looking at like a whole tomato, then about a fist's worth is going to be fine. So if you want to stick this in a smoothie or, you know, chop it up without having to go the extra step of dirtying a measuring cup, about a fist's worth of the tomato or anything that's already in that whole form is going to be fine. The final thing, two more things. Something like a cucumber, zucchini, or a summer squash, the yellow squash. That one, pretty easy. Cut off the ends, don't count those. And then just take them down the middle and then slice. So like little half moons. Okay? So put those in there. Don't need much more. Okay, so again, that would be anything that has to be sliced. You can just do the half moons. Alright. And then for leafy greens. Alright, so you can buy the pre-chopped leafy greens like this, the baby greens, or you can buy a whole, you can get the larger leaves, like some of the Swiss chards or kale are going to be in larger leaves. So basically, the leafies take up quite a bit of space. So if you're starting with about the size of what you'd find in the mini greens, you just want to rip those in half, okay? So if you have a bigger leaf, then all you have to do is cut it into about bite-sized pieces. So you're looking into very similar to the half moon shape of the slice. So leafy greens are a pain in the butt to have to cut with a knife because they don't have a lot of body to them. So tearing them is not only faster, but it's perfectly acceptable. Okay. And you don't have to push down and smush it, but you still want to make sure that you're taking out some of the extra space in there. Alright. Am I about a cup in? Yeah, I'm about a cup in there. So a light push, no need to smash, but a light push and then chop. Okay? So that's going to be about a cup of your leafy greens. Alright, so if you look here, the leafy greens end up taking up a little more space because they have all that air. But for the most part, everything is going to be very similar to about the size of a cup. So hopefully this gives you guys some clarity. If you do have any more questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can reach me at utramet@gmail.com or at the phone number I provided on the shopping list, and I will be happy to answer any questions you have regarding your 7 cup of non-starchy vegetable a day bonus.